What if the tomatoes on your table didn't come from some quiet little farm with a red barn and a smiling farmer, but from a living, breathing system that never sleeps, where every decision can change the taste, the color, the yield, and even the future of food itself? From the very first moment, tomato farming begins. It feels less like planting a crop and more like starting a long, unpredictable journey. Because tomatoes are sensitive, demanding, and surprisingly dramatic plants. And that's exactly why we treat them with so much attention, starting long before a single seed ever touches soil. When we test the land, feel its texture in our hands, smell it, check how it drains after water, and decide whether it's ready to support life or not. Because great tomatoes don't start in the field. They start in the planting, with seed selection that most people never see. Choosing varieties not just for size or color, but for how they behave under heat, how they resist disease, how they ripen, how they travel, and how they taste when someone bites into them miles away from where they were grown. And once those seeds are chosen, we prepare nursery trays where tiny seeds are placed carefully, not dumped, because each one matters. Each one is a potential plant that could feed dozens of people. And in those early days, the seeds sit quietly under controlled warmth and moisture, pushing roots down and shoots up, fragile at first, almost invisible. And during this stage, there's a strange calm, because everything looks simple, but this is where mistakes are expensive. Too much water and roots suffocate, too little and growth slows. So we watch closely, adjusting, sometimes by instinct, sometimes by experience that came from past failures we don't always talk about. And as the seedlings grow stronger, we harden them gradually, exposing them to real sunlight, wind, and temperature changes so they don't panic when they finally move into the open field. And that field, when the day comes, is already prepared like a stage before a big performance. Soil tilled to the right depth, organic matter mixed in, rows aligned for efficient irrigation and airflow. Because airflow matters more than people think. It keeps disease away, and then transplanting begins. Long days where workers bend, plant, press soil gently around each stem, and move on, again and again. Thousands of times, under the sun, hands dirty, backs tired. But there's a rhythm to it, a quiet pride too, because every plant placed in the ground is a small promise. And once they're in, the real work starts. Irrigation systems come alive, often drip lines that deliver water directly to roots, slow and steady, because tomatoes hate chaos. They like consistency, and we monitor moisture constantly, not just by machines, but by touching the soil, squeezing it, feeling if it holds together or falls apart. While above ground, the plants stretch upward, leaves spreading wide, stems thickening, and soon they need support. Stakes or trellises installed to keep fruit off the ground, prevent rot, and make harvesting possible. And tying those plants is an art on its own. Too tight and you choke growth, too loose and the plant collapses. So we tie with care, leaving room for movement, because plants grow fast when they're happy, and feeding them is another balance. Nutrients delivered at the right time. Nitrogen early for growth, potassium later for fruit. Calcium to prevent ugly problems like blossom end rot. And this is where science and instinct collide. Soil tests guide us, but experience tells us when something feels off. When leaves look slightly pale, when growth slows just enough to raise concern, and pests, they always come. Sometimes quietly, sometimes like an invasion. Aphids, whiteflies, caterpillars, and instead of reaching straight for chemicals, we often start with observation, introducing beneficial insects, adjusting, watering, changing timing, because a healthy system can defend itself if you don't break it.